Hello to everybody out there. It's a nice Sunday morning, and I want to welcome you back to the channel. Now, I know a number of you out there are wondering, where are my reviews from the past 2 episodes? Well, folks, let me say that I took a much needed break from reviewing this show for a number of reasons. One, while I thoroughly enjoyed the first part of the season, these last few episodes have had repetitive storylines. For example, Shay being possessive with Alfonso, Charlie and Otis going tit for tat with one another, and Shorty doing everything she can to get Kenny to break things off with her, is how I would sum up those episodes. 2, there really hasn't been any growth from that, and with the season finale being on the horizon, none of the couples have made any progress on their specific issues that are preventing them from getting married, which in my opinion means that the show at this point is a waste of everybody's time. And 3, since I started reviewing this season to put a ring on it, it's been my lowest reviewed series, which means that I'm either not doing my job well enough to reach the viewers out there, or the people just aren't watching this series like the other ones that I review, which also makes me question whether or not I want to continue reviewing the future series of the show. But with that out of the way, I'll be sharing my thoughts and feelings on episode 9 of the show, and without any further delay, let's jump right in. In the beginning of this episode, Dr. Nicole gives everybody the task of going on a date that they've already dated. Alfonso picks the girl that he dated for last episode. Shay picks the guy who saw her nearly fight Alfonso's date at the restaurant. Charlana picks GVO, which stands for Great Value Odell. Otis picks the girl from his first blind date, who I thought was the complete package. Kenny chooses Shorty's former co-worker, and Shorty chooses the same guy who she's been with for the past several dates. Before any of these dates take place, we get to see Kenny and Shorty meeting up, and Kenny attempts to put his foot down and demand that Shorty show him some respect when talking to him. At this point in the season, I'm starting to have some sort of sympathy for how Shorty has been talking to Kenny. But every time I bring myself to believe that Shorty is in the wrong, I'm quickly reminded of how Kenny went through her phone and copied her bank information behind her back. So while Shorty isn't right for how she's speaking to Kenny, Kenny also isn't right for his antics when dealing with Shorty. And I don't see the cycle ever breaking as long as the two of them are together. All of the cast members go on their dates, and the only dates that I think are worth mentioning are Charlie's and Kenny's. Charlie meets up with GVO, and GVO is noticeably more relaxed and reserved than he was on his first date. There were no stories of orgies at church, or a game of hide the zucchini that he played with a mother and adult daughter. Instead, GVO was on his best behavior, and Charlie asked him flat out if he thought she was weak. Now come on, how is a bona fide player going to respond to a question like that? Yes, Charlie, I think you're weak, and I want to say whatever it takes to clap those cheeks, cause you're looking mighty good. Nah. GVO lied to Charlie, and she admits that he told her what she wanted to hear, which didn't deter her from wanting to talk to him any further. Then there was the date with Kenny and Shorty's former co-worker. The season is nearly over, and this is the first date that Kenny is actually appearing to enjoy. He's laughing, smiling, and making physical contact with old girl. I wouldn't be surprised if they even hooked up afterwards, all to make Shorty jealous. The couples then meet back with Dr. Nicole and talk about their dates. I wasn't surprised that Kenny used this time to throw shots at Shorty and make subliminal remarks about how much he liked the date. The only other noteworthy part about this scene was that Alfonso, Shay, Shorty, and Kenny all agreed to stop going on dates heading into the finale. But when it was Charlie's turn, she wanted to go out on a final date with GVO, which was pretty petty no matter how you try to slice it. However, Otis in turn expresses his desire to go out on another date with a woman he saw earlier in the episode, which just goes back to how this couple does a tit for tat with one another. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this episode a 2. It was silly, petty, and it's pretty apparent that none of these couples are getting anything out of the process to make their relationships better. I'll definitely be uploading my reviews for the finale and the reunion of the season on the next 2 Saturdays, so there won't be any delay on that. So this marks the end of the review. I know that this review is shorter than my other Put a Ring on It reviews, but the episode didn't really give me much to work with. If you have any comments related to the review or the episode, feel free to leave them below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to reply to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.